Can everybody see? Okay, so it says solve for R. And remember, when we're solving for R, that means we won't leave it. We'll leave it where it is. And we want to move anything else that is on that side of the equal sign. So what do I need to move? I need to move one thing. I need to move C. C is over there. If I'm solving for R, I want R to be all by itself. So I need to move C. How is C connected to the R? Right. It's connected by subtraction, so the way I get rid of it is to add it. Okay, so we're going to add C to both sides. And see, what happens is the C's cancel and R is all by itself. And now I have G plus C. So the correct answer was B. How'd y'all do there? Did y'all do okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Another one says solve for X. So we want X to stay put, and we want to move everything else. So y'all, you could almost look at this kind of like this problem. Let me see if I can give you something that might look familiar. So y'all, if you look at this and you're solving for X, these guys are separated by addition, so how would I get rid of them? The 10 and the 18. I'd subtract them. So it's the same thing here. The 17 and the C are connected to all of this by addition, so how do I get rid of the C and the 17? I'm going to subtract it. So I'm going to subtract the 17. I'm going to subtract the C, and so that's gone. And now, once these are gone, how would I get rid of the 5 here? I divide, because the 5 is multiplied. It's connected to the X by multiplication. So how do I get rid of the B here? Let me go back. Yeah, the 5 is separated from the X by multiplication. The B is separated from the X by multiplication. If I would divide by 5, then I'm going to divide by B. Okay? So what we have here is Y minus C minus 17, and then we end up dividing by B. So that would be answer B. Is that correct? Okay. How many people got that? Okay. And just know this is on a video if you want to look back at this today. Okay? Okay, first problem on the board. Let's go with 2 minutes to begin with. Okay, if I get everybody's attention, please. If you are going off my flip chart up there, there is no distribution. We don't have a parenthesis with a number outside of it. But we do need to combine like terms. That's the order I do it in, because if you combine like terms, it gets really pretty really fast. So on the right side of the equal sign, I can actually put two terms together. I can put the 9x and the negative 5x together, and that gives me 4x. And then I'm going to bring down the positive 13. Okay, now, on the left side of the equal sign, I can combine some things together. I've got a negative 9 and a positive 2. Those are both constants. They can be put together to give me a negative 7. So this is going to be 3x minus 7. Look how clean this gets very quickly, y'all, if you do that step for combining like terms. Now, this is the thing we did yesterday, okay? Your variables are on opposite sides, and I need to get the variables together. I move mine to the left. So I want to move this entire term, 4x. It is positive, so I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides, okay? Did you have to go that way with it? No, you could have subtracted 3x. Okay, when we go my way, you end up with a negative 1x and bring everything else down. Now we've got a two-step equation. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Bring down the negative 1x. Bring down your equal sign. When I add 7, I get 20. And the last step is I need to get rid of this negative 1. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. My answer is x equals negative 20. You guys rock that out. All right, next problem. I'm going to put 3 minutes on the board. All right, folks. Let's work this on out. If I could have everybody's attention, please. I'll say again, some of y'all may want to go take a look at this Some of y'all may want to go take a look at this video tonight just to, practice a few problems for your quiz, okay? So step number 1 says distribute, and yes, we've got something to distribute over here on the right-hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down the left-hand side because I'm really not doing anything with it. When I distribute, don't forget that's multiplication. 5 times 3 is 15, and there's a W on that. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 5 times 3 is 15, that's 15W. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. I'm going to bring everything else down. Okay, some people early on, maybe last week or so, y'all, when you're down to this line here, there's no more multiplication here, okay? It's now time to add and subtract. So we're going to combine like terms on each side of the equation. So I'm going to look on the right-hand side. There are 2 things I can put together. 15W minus 12W is 3W. And I'm going to bring down the minus 10 because it doesn't go with anything. Okay? On the left-hand side, nothing to combine. I'm just going to bring it down. Okay? Me personally, I move my variables to the left. So I'm going to subtract 3W. Keep in mind, this subtraction does not go with the 3W. The subtraction goes with what? The 10. The 3W is positive, so the way I make it go away is by subtracting. Subtracting 3W. Okay? So 3W's cancel. I get negative 8W. I'm going to bring down plus 30, bring down the equal sign, and let's not forget there is a negative on that 10. You want to be very careful with your signs, okay? So now it's a 2-step equation. I'm going to subtract 30 on both sides. I get negative 8W equals negative 40. And now I divide both sides by negative 8. And the correct answer is 5. And great job, everybody. Okay, first of all, folks, one thing that we want to do when we're dealing with multiple choice, you don't want to get so excited that you yell the answer out. Because people that don't know the answer, those teams are going to take your answer. I would just write your letter down and make sure you cover it up. Okay, have a discussion. I'll put on some, background music so nobody can hear you. Multiple choice. Okay, folks, let me have your attention here. Okay, y'all, this is actually a volume formula. Okay. So when we're solving literal equations, this is a real formula. It's for volume. Y'all, if there's no operations, what is the operation between the variables? It's multiplication. So if I want to get rid of something that's multiplied, what do? I have to divide. So y'all, since I'm solving for H, it stays put. But y'all, the rest of these are separated by multiplication. So I'm going to divide to get rid of them. And if I do it on the right side of the equation, I've got to do it on the left side. Notice that cancels. I'm left with H all by itself. That's what it means to solve for H. It's equal to volume divided by pi r squared. So your correct answer was C. Okay? All right, we've got Ava's team, Graydon's team, Aiden's team, and Luke's team. Choose someone to come up and shoot, please. Okay, problem on the board. Let me get your attention, folks. Okay, heard some people having some great conversation. When we're distributing here, yes, we're multiplying, but y'all, when we multiply 1 times 8, it doesn't change that number. We're actually dividing by 4, so we get 2x. When I distribute to the negative 12, it's really 12 divided by 4, I get negative 3. Bring down my equal sign. Same here, when I distribute, the 1 really doesn't change anything because 1 times 20 is 20, but then I need to divide by 5. That gives me a 4x. Then I distribute to the second term, 35 divided by 5, that is a positive 7. Notice, nice and clean. I'm going to subtract 4x from both sides. When I combine here, I get negative 2x, bring down the minus 3, bring down the equals, bring down the 7. Now I'm going to add 3 to both sides. I get negative 2x equals 10. And last step, divide by negative 2. And I get x equals negative 5. Everybody got that right? Good job. Okay. Multiple choice, think about how they are separated from the x. All right, I'm supposed to solve for x. So I've highlighted that. I want x to stay put. I need to move the 18, the c, and the d. I'm going to move the 18 and the c first. They are separated from the x by addition. So how would I move them? So I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. I'm going to subtract c from both sides. So the 18 and the c disappear. So now I have dx equals y minus c minus 18. And then the operation that is separating the d and the x is multiplication. So the way I get rid of the d is I divide. The correct answer was D. The correct answer was D. So we've got Gabrielle's team, Naomi's team, Graydon's team, Kenna's team, and Luke's team. Problem on the board. Let's settle in, folks. Settle in.
Yes, Mom.
Folks, let me get your attention, please, okay? All right, so we've got to distribute. When I distribute to the first parenthesis, I get 16 minus 48x. Here you need to be very careful because you are actually distributing a negative 2. So that's going to give me negative 2x. And then when I distribute negative 2 to negative 12, I get a positive 24. I'm going to bring down my positive 5x, my equal sign, and my negative 50. Now I need to combine like terms over here. So I've got a negative 48x and a negative 2x. That gives me negative 50x. Then plus 5x. See, I'm putting all 3 of these together. So that's going to give me a negative 45x. Now I'm going to combine the 16 and the 24, and that gives me positive 40. Bring down the equal sign, bring down the negative 50. I now have a 2-step equation. I'm going to subtract 40 on both sides. Bring down the negative 45x. When I combine on the right, I get negative 90. And now I divide both sides by negative 45. And my answer is a positive 2. Okay, problem on the board. All right, folks, there is no equal sign. The only thing you can do is clean this thing up, so to speak. So we're going to do distribution. When I do it to this first parentheses, I get 5x minus 15. I have a second distribution. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Last step would be to combine like terms to clean this up. 5x minus 2x is 3x. Negative 15 and negative 18 is negative 33. There is nothing else I can do in this problem. Because first of all, this is a constant with no variable. This has a variable. This is as simple as it gets. It's not an equation and there's nothing to solve. This is your final answer. Okay?